Hello, Raiders, Doomers, Crusaders, Scullys, and Dialers. It's Daniel Reiser, Reiser Indie, and today I'm going to show you how I distressed my Wested Legacy Last Crusade jacket. I distressed the front already, but I left the back pristine just in case I made a video, which I did because you're watching it right now.
Reiser Indie is not an expert. Don't take this advice as gospel. Reiser Indie is not responsible for any stupid thing you do to your jacket.
Alright, let's get the boulder rolling. You're gonna need a 5-pack of scrubbers, a razor blade, reference photos, and of course, an Indiana Jones jacket. This video is specifically for the Last Crusade jacket, but the principles can be applied to any of the movies. Just source your own reference photos. So I started with the basic highlights found on all the seams, and we'll start with the top of the back panel. So I just study my reference on my computer right in front of me, and then I start sanding. Notice how I'm holding the scrubber so that I can control the width, because as you can see on the Last Crusade jacket, the seam highlights are a specific width. I'm also looking for areas where there aren't highlights on the seams, and I try to avoid sanding those areas because later I will do a general pass of the entire jacket. A couple things to note as you go along: keep stepping back and taking a look at it. Don't get tunnel vision. It's like a painting, so it's important to keep stepping back and looking at the big picture. Also, whatever is under the leather will create lines on the area you're distressing, so always keep that in mind, and sometimes you may encounter something like this where it's creating unwanted patterns. When that happens, I just do a general sanding around the area to roughen up those spots, but don't apply too much pressure because you don't want to create unwanted highlights in the process. Another tip to share is, if you've got a seam that's really difficult to get the right width on, I suggest you place the seam on the edge of a table or a cutting board in my case, so you can have greater control over what gets sanded. Side note, is this not ASMR?
Yes, we love the sanding sound.
And then you just gotta do that to every seam that your reference calls for. In the case of the Last Crusade jacket, every seam and edge has been distressed. Every indie jacket has some distinct scrapes and scars, especially the Last Crusade jacket. Some of these marks are too narrow for my scrubber to get to, and when I come across situations like these, I take a shot of whiskey and I pull out the razor blade. Be gentle, and please be careful, both for your jacket's sake and for your own. A little bit of pressure goes a long way, and you want to be careful with the angle so you're not slicing into the leather. You're just trying to take off the surface pigment, that's it. Another word of caution is to be mindful of seams. You could easily pop a seam with the razor blade if you aren't careful. So I go in with both tools and get all the big picture details, and as I go along I might add a specific scrape here or there, but I'm really trying to get all the distinct distressing marks besides the really big spots of distressing like you see on the chest or the middle of the back, because I'll save those for last. You can see here some of the details I've added, which when I was doing the front were details like the distinct long scrape on the left sleeve, the area over the zipper, the T mark on the storm flap, which I did with a razor blade, and the little zigzaggish line on the left side of the collar. Now I'm going to do these big, hefty splotches of distressing. Personally, I'm not trying to make this look exactly like the reference because I feel like sanding the area doesn't accomplish this look, so I try to approximate it with the scrubber by going over and around the area haphazardly, concentrating some of the focus on the same spot over and over, but really trying to avoid making a big circle. Another thing I'm doing here is I'm grabbing handfuls of the jacket and just scraping the folds of the leather, and I'm really trying to be random. I want to create all of these random scuffs and scrapes all over the entire jacket. They won't really show up in a picture, but they add character and texture and help blend in all the deliberate distressing done in the earlier steps. I also don't think it's a good strategy to try to match your reference so exactly that your jacket has no character of its own. I think part of what makes a jacket look good is when it has a well-rounded amount of distressing, and I find the best way to accomplish this is to just go to town on the entire jacket. And as I'm doing this, I might feel inspired to just create a whole new distinct highlight that may not be screen accurate, but it just feels right in the moment, especially when I take a step back and really see the whole jacket. You should have fun. It's your indie jacket. You'll notice as you keep bringing the scrubber back to those big distinct distressing marks that more and more pigment will come off. It's up to you to decide how large of a diameter you want to move. But once you've created those concentrated areas and scraped and scuffed the whole jacket front to back, you're pretty much done. Here's some close-ups of some of my highlights. As you can see, depending on the lighting, it can look way too light. Don't be scared by that, it's just lighting. It's not gonna hurt you. And as you can see, my jacket looks so different depending on the lighting. Another thing I noticed was after a few days, the highlights mellow out and everything kind of settles. I might condition the jacket to see if that brings everything together a little more, but first I'm going to test it on a highlight that I don't mind sacrificing. So there you have it. That's how I distressed a Last Crusade Legacy jacket. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. I try to release new content on YouTube once a month, be it reviews of gear or instructional videos like this. I do have some plans to do some more Wested related videos, as it seems that a lot of you would like that, so please follow me for more. I'm most active on Instagram at RiserIndie. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.